Today we're going to create some very basic sort of glasses. To do this, we're going to start by creating a plane in the front viewport. The plane size is not really a problem at the moment, so just any size will do, sort of like that. Use the move tool to center the plane, and then in the y-axis move it backwards a little bit because we're going to be putting a reference image onto this plane. So get it in the front view by pressing F, hit G to turn the grid off. Click on the modify panel and set the number of segments to 1, height and width. Okay, go to your material editor and assign your face that you're going to use as a reference image. Apply that to the plane that you have, like so. If the reference image doesn't look quite right, as in stretched, then use the scale tool to adjust the plane so it looks proportional. Okay, so you want to zoom in on the eyes, obviously. Then go to the create panel again and click on tube, and starting in the center of the eye, drag out a tube at what looks to be about the right size. Okay, rotate it around so you can see the height of the tube. I'm going to apply this material because it just makes it a lot easier to work with. Okay, so you can adjust the height, obviously. Tubes are interesting things, like most things with 3ds Max. It's only a tube because of the number of sides that it has. So if you were to reduce the number of sides to 3, for instance, you'd get a triangular prism, I guess, like so. So 3 is obviously the smallest number you can have, and then just by adding segments makes it smoother. Alright, so the next thing to do is to create the lens inside of this frame. So I'm going to do it by clicking on geosphere and dragging out a geosphere about the same size as that tube, applying the material to it. Okay, as you can see, mine has created a hemisphere, so like a half a sphere, which is pretty cool. Next, we're going to hit Alt-A and click on the rim. Make sure that you've got centers selected in XYZ, hit OK, and it will center it to the rim there. Adjust the diameter, or the radius of the sphere, turn it around, position it using the y-axis. Okay, so obviously that's the wrong shape, so we'll use the scale tool to squash it a bit so it looks a little bit more lens-like. Okay, I want to get rid of those back polygons, so I'm going to isolate, convert it to an editable poly first. Oh no, I'm not. Hang on, I'm turning the visibility down so that it becomes a bit translucent. And then isolate it by right-clicking, choose isolate. Can put an editable poly modifier onto it, choose polygons and ignore back facing. Hit Q on your keyboard to prevent this sort of thing from happening, so it's just a selection, and then by dragging it out you'll select the polygons and hit delete. Right click and then end the isolation. Hit F and Z to zoom. Okay, we're going to take it off polygon selection, hold Control, hit W to move, hold down Shift and drag to get the lens and rim on the other side, sort of position them so they're in the right spot. Choose instance because you want it to be an actual instance so that if you change one it'll change the other one. The next thing to do is to create the piece over the bridge of the nose. Perhaps somewhat counterintuitively, we're going to use another tube like so, because I want to show you that there's a like a split sort of function. So we've got it selected, we're going to hit the modify tab and slice it, and then use that to control the distance that the tube goes around. Like so. Could have done this with a line or an arc or a bunch of different ways, but this is a pretty quick and easy way to go about it. The next thing to do is to create the arms, for want of a better word, that go down the side. So I don't think we really need Angelina for... Oh, sorry, no. Actually, the next thing is to position that. So put it in the left-hand view and go to the Create tab again, Shapes, and then Line. So we're going to draw and drag a line out here. This is not going to be in the right location, in the sort of like Z-axis. So just dragging it out. Click on the Modify tab. Choose Vertex. I want to add a vertex in the middle about here, just to give us a bit more control over the way that slopes. So we're going to go to Refine and then click on that segment. And as you'll see, it's put another vertex in, which we can select and then move around. This is a Bezier curve, which is why those green handles are there. So we can adjust the handles to get the shape that we're after. Okay, to give it some volume, we'll click on Make Visible in Viewport and Rendering, and yeah, increase the diameter, and then also change the interpolation so it's adaptive, so it'll create more segments if there's a bigger turn. Apply the material to it. A bit more fiddling with the shape of the thing. Unselect vertex so that we can move the whole thing across. Gonna just hide Angelina for a minute. And then get it in the top view by hitting T and dragging that arm across. Then hold down Shift and drag another one out to the other side. Like so. Again, because you want them to be the same, make it an instance. Hit the Create tab. We're going to just add a little bit of decoration here. So, not rectangle. Box. Actually, we'll make it, go to Extended Primitives and make it a chamfer box so that it's not just got like hard edges on it. Anywhere in the viewport, click and drag your box out. Give it some height and chamfer width. Whatever it is at the moment doesn't matter because you can just adjust it afterwards anyway. Apply the material to the selection. Okay, use the Move tool to position the chamfer box. This is just a bit of decoration that's going to go on the top here. Rotate it around a bit. Take a bit of care in making sure you get this in the right spot. Okay, so Alt and middle mouse button to do all the various rotations. T obviously to go to the top view. There we go. Yep, I really don't like that. It's dull. Let's bend it. Okay, so if we're going to bend it, we're going to have to give it some more segments, otherwise it simply won't bend. So nominally increase the segments to like 14 to 20 or 30, it doesn't really matter too much, and then choose the bend modifier out of the list. You want to get the bend axis right, which is usually a bit of fiddling around, so give it some angle and then try the axes. Inevitably it will be the last one, and then we can bend it to what we think is a pretty good effect. Move the little brace thing into place like that. Just change the size of this chamfer box so it looks a bit better than that. Okay, so that's it basically. I guess we should probably unhide Angelina and see what she looks like with her fancy glasses on. This is only the beginning part of this process, because there's obviously, how are these things held into place? There must be some mechanism for these arms to move. Yeah, so this is a very sort of basic beginning of it anyway. Okie dokie.